But anyway, I think you're all doing fantastic. And I know some of you are struggling intellectually. I'll put it that way. Because we have come along with so much propaganda, so many lies, so much misinformation, that it's all kind of, even in the natural health field, this is the thing is, medical, they just have a certain pathway of thinking. And it's just down a certain road. Once you well, I don't know if you can ever understand that, but it's definitely totally something that's way on the outside of the city, because it really doesn't reach in and grab truth in any way, shape, or form, except for good surgeries and some good ER work. But there's been lousy on all those sides, as there is in naturopaths, lousy naturopaths out there. So you have to protect yourself. As I told you before, the head of the AMA said, "Let buyer beware." So this is why I like to educate. And I can, I've talked to you about this before, is that, things seem simplistic and are simplistic. You have to be careful about your mind getting in your way. This is why I talk about it so much. And a good example, there's a couple of you, some of you know who I'm talking about, who just were after time and digging into the body and not really digging in deeply, one starts asking about, oh, look, over here, I could add this vitamin, or I could add this mineral, or I could add probiotics, or I could add digestive enzymes. And this is the sort of thing, even though David Wolfe didn't have a real awareness about botanicals, he was, Mr. Avocado, the raw food guy. And now, you're pushing digestive enzymes and you're pushing supplements and stuff like that. And I think that you see that. And remember, we talked about the universal mind and how we all can have similar thoughts, see similar visions, have similar desires, what we'd like to take place. And a good example of that is when you enter the natural health field and you realize that this level of healing is at the top. You just want to shout it out. You want to go help everybody. You found the answer to how you help people. And it's that sort of excitement that pulls you into this, and it's so exciting. And as you start down that road, sometimes if you're new to that, then all these other things come in. Oh, look over here, all these supplements can do this, this, and this, and this, and oh, this can do this, and this, and this. I've had a lot of years using supplements on and off and doing different things. And I can just flatly tell you that it is ridiculous and a pure waste of your time to think that you can find something out there that's going to magically clean an entire lymphatic system in your body, remove all the acids out of there, and clean you up and rebuild tissue. If you think any vitamin and mineral will do that, you're misguided. If you think going out and having chelation therapy will do that, you're misguided. If you go out there and think acupuncture will do that, you're misguided. If you go out there and think chiropractics will do that, you're misguided. When you go around and you're looking for a remedy, not a therapeutic modality. If your back needs fixed, go to a chiropractor. There's some awful good chiropractors out there. If you need to deal with pain or you need to move energy to tissue in a rapid way, acupuncture is great. There's a lot of different therapeutic modalities that are great. But keep your feet planted on simplicity and awareness. Get out of your minds, Jermaine. And some of you guys have to get out of your minds, because you're going to take yourself down another road, and it's a waste of time. Although I welcome you all to do that. I really don't care. It's difficult to control that sort of thing, but people do this and then circle right back around, and I'm seeing them right back in my office a year, 2 years later, but their problems are much deeper. The sad thing is I get a lot of clients from even 5-10 years ago coming back in, and some of them are so advanced now in their troubles because they just I couldn't get with the simplicity and the wear it like a robe and riding a bull type syndrome where they just get on and get it. That's why I take my time and try to educate every one of you guys the truth of it all. It doesn't matter if you want to spend time using vitamins and minerals, you want to spend time doing that, go right ahead. We get them in here again with grocery bags full of supplements. Still the same problem. And this is a shortcut. A shortcut, it's the only shortcut. It's the only way to get on that paved gold road to Wellville. If you don't detox and clean these acids and get these heavy metals and neurotoxins and all the chemistry you put in that's not gone out, plus just the loss of kidney and all the endocrine gland functions, how do you get those back with vitamins and minerals and amino acids and digestive enzymes? You don't. You never will, and you won't. And anybody out there that preaches stuff like that is ridiculous. You might feel a little better taking something like that, but it won't last that long. It's like taking steroids and hormones and things. Oh, you feel better for a while, and then you start to see the irony of that you're losing your gland function. You need to up your dosages because you're losing your gland functions because your glands don't like to be supplemented with hormones and steroids and neurotransmitters. So keep your feet planted firmly on the path and you'll make it. If you go byways, highways, fine. I'm always here for you. And I just want you to know that. I don't care. If you want to take off and go down a road to vitamins and minerals, but don't waste your money and time for those that don't need to do that sort of thing. You know, that's the job of some of us that have been around a while, those that have went through these things and that have worked on so many people and had the results we have, is I can help you avoid a waste of time and a lot of money. But you have to feel that. And sometimes it's important that one goes out. And this is for you Facebook too. Sometimes you're going to have someone like Jermaine that needs to go on out there and get dirty in another level. You know, take on vitamins and minerals, do your live blood cell analysis, do these things. But in the final analysis, there's only one way to walk. There's only one way to get rid of unbalanced chemistry. There's only one way. You can't say, and this is important for you guys that are thinking that way, think about deficiencies. And this is to all your naturopaths. You can't live in this world of deficiency until you do three things. And what are those three things? You've got to fix an individual's digestive system. They've got to be able to digest their carbohydrates, break down their fats, etc., etc. Same with their proteins, but we don't want them on proteins. So we want to make sure that the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas is all in pretty good health. What brings them down? Well, you got a bunch of cells and two fluids. Could it be the chemistry you're eating? And what else could we look at? The inability of those cells in the liver to remove their byproducts and waste from metabolism, respiration, blah, 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 blah. And that's where most of the inflammation is. Not from eating is not really inflammatory, although it, exacerbates that. But in the long run, what you eat, what you breathe, what you put on your skin, what you drink, all these factors of how you touch chemistry and bring it in is how it interfaces with your own chemistry. You want a balanced body chemistry? Start eating balanced body chemistry. Don't try to balance body chemistry with some chemist thought on how you do that, because it never works. The only way your body balances itself out is when you start bringing in balanced nutrition. And where do you get balanced nutrition from? Whole foods. Where do you get balanced nutrition on? Unfired foods. You don't get nutrition from cooked foods. So where do you get nutrition from? Where do you get the living, breathing essence of vitamins and minerals and salts and alkaloids and coumarins and flavonoids and all that? Foods. Just from your foods. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. It's that simple. The problem in there, we can argue a lot of problems. Growth issues, soil issues, but remember, roots are just like we are. We look for good restaurants, so does roots of plants. They look for nutrition. And so they're always looking for nutrition. We might not have the topsoil we have, but we have roots still looking for nutrition, and we have the best you can get. The worry of that, to me, is a little one-sided when we haven't corrected the understanding of what all the other the food sources that we're consuming, like the dairies and the dead animals and the beans and the nuts and all this. We've got to get away from consumption of these type of complex foods. Because really, for a frugivore species like the Homo sapien, meat is not a food. It's a toxin. And by the way, there's only really one animal that deals with proteins halfway well. And again, we've talked about this, and that's the carnivores. And they don't deal with proteins that well, but that's their lot. They're not long-lived. They stink like crazy. They sleep. They have no endurance. And yet we revere proteins. For why? Look at the animals that eat it, and look what happens to them. Wasn't for the claws and the teeth, and the size. That's the thing. So you have to get down and take a look at these things and realize where the bulk of the energy and nutrition is, and that's where meat is formed from, and that's your fruits and berries and melons and your veggies. Oh, I wanted to finish that. Digestion, absorption, utilization. Remember that? Sometimes I skip over that and don't think about that. But let's wind back a little bit. Until you fix digestion, absorption, utilization, can you ever assume deficiency? And I've talked about that enough. It should be enough. Because the naturopaths out there have to start learning that, and once you have to fix digestion, you have to fix absorption, and you have to fix utilization. So digestion is a glandular issue and an organ issue, all right, predominantly liver, gallbladder, pancreas, of course, small bowel. Stomach in their ways of complex amino acid structures. Absorption is going to be the lymph system in the GI tract wall, and utilization is going to be endocrine glands. So you've got to fix these before you can sit there and think that I'm going through all these tests, and I'm getting all these scans, and I'm deficient on this, I'm deficient on that, I'm deficient on this, and I'm deficient on that. You can't say that until you fix digestion, absorption, and utilization. You fix all three of those things and you're still sick, then you can claim that the food you're eating is making you sick. But how come I can put you on fruits, berries, and melons and fix all three of those things? Also, what is your opinion on using mineral supplements in your diet? Why waste your money? Again, we're not about minerals. You can go out and get all the minerals, or just go out and dig some go to Home Depot and buy some black dirt. You got plenty of minerals. Why spend your money? You get a bag for topsoil for $1.20, I think it is now. So $1.20 will buy you a big dark bag of topsoil. There's plenty of minerals right there. Help yourself. Put a little bit of minerals there, a little bit of topsoil right by your salad. That'll be pretty good. No one likes that. But that's what you're asking, and that's the problem with the thinking. Remember, minerals are converted to salts by the plants. And so we can get into that, but I'll tell you, it is a waste of friggin' time. And then you play this game. God created this whole world in chemical harmony and chemical relationships. And I've brought this up so many times. The fact that all chemistry is related. Remember, this is a finished, created universe. You can't play with chemistry by, here, you want more calcium? Here's a bunch of calcium. What we don't think and what we don't see, and unless you've had physics, what you don't understand is that when you bring high amounts of calcium as a supplement into your body, creation's finished. So you're bringing a lot of calcium. Who has to leave? Think of chemistry as a room literally crammed full of people. This is the best analogy I can give you, that a room full of people, and you want to come into that room because you have a friend in that room full of people. What has to happen? What has to happen to that room full of people? Somebody's got to step out so somebody can step in. So look at chemistry as complete in the universe. It's all, there's no voids. One thing you learn in physics, there's no voids. I don't know what black holes are, but right now, the theory of no voids holds pretty strong. So you see that osmosis, where there's a buildup of chemistry on one side and low on the other. You will always see the waxing and waning of chemistry, how we have osmosis, how we have all the chemical processes and how they work actually. So you move from one dense to less dense. It's always seeking a homeostasis, a balance of chemistry, a balance of magnetics, all this movement of life between the fluxing of the two poles, whether it's electrons around protons, negative around positive, however you wish to look at all of that. So you cannot bring in calcium without pushing out something. And you always push out the sister, the twin sister to calcium is magnesium. You also tend to push out the little brother, phosphorus, which is part of the bone matrix. So you can't do that. Same thing with vitamins, same thing with everything. Get plenty of vitamins from bacteria in the body, unless you're high on antibiotics, and that'll destroy your vitamin production in the body. I mean, health on this planet is so out of whack. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, to help you all pull yourself into a state of balance and see the simplicity of health. This shouldn't be a large subject matter involving a life search. There's more things to do. There's more things to have fun with than always seeking to be healthy, which should be your natural lot just to be here. So, minerals, no, because it's made by some chemist, or you ground up rock or volcanic ash, so to speak, or ground up shells. I mean, this is inert stuff. And we think that inert stuff is going to make us well, and that's the problem with man. He's got his head like an ostrich down in the ground, thinking he's going to find truth. Truth is where the light is. Truth is where the energy is. We're only looking at magnetic energy, frequencies of magnetic energy when we're looking at chemistry.